And good morning, everyone, and welcome to Laurel Park Live. I'm your host, John Piassek. Today, we are going to cover the first five on the Thursday, November 29th card here at Laurel Park, comprising the early pick five sequence. It's one of the best bets in racing, especially today. A lot of big fields, wide open betting races, and of course, the low 12% takeout. That means every time you play this sequence, you get a lot more bang for your buck. Let's jump in. The opener on today's card made in claiming $25,000, 2-year-old fillies going 5.5 furlongs, a field of 8 in here. Everybody in this field has run at least once, and that means there's not a lot of inexperience in this field. My top pick is number 3, Weekends for Work, who had a tough trip last time out in her debut. That was 12 days ago on the 17th, was hung out in the far outside post 12 out of 14, then broke slowly and had to be rushed up just to contend for the lead. That means she used a lot of energy early on, not an ideal situation by any stretch, then got involved in a speed duel. In spite of everything, still held on okay to finish second, beaten about 5 3/4 lengths, earning a very good Brisnet speed figure of 56. She's one of the few in here who has only raced one time and showed a lot of ability in that one start. That means she's a likely candidate to improve sharply and move forward second time out. In the pick five, I'd also use number 2, Rosary, although she's a bit concerning as she is a classic speed and fade type. In her last two starts, she went out to a clear early lead, zoomed away to easy advantages, only to end up coming in second place. I definitely would use her underneath. Don't know for sure about betting her to win, especially not at low odds. However, I would use her on a pick five ticket just in case. So we'll start off the pick five using 2 and 3. Race number 2 on the card, $12,500 claiming race going 1 mile, field of 7. My top pick in here is a Parks Invader. That's number 7, Dawn's Escape. She's been very competitive in straight claiming races at Parks. Last time out, stalked the pace, ended up battling down the stretch, and finished third, losing by just a length, and a big figure there of 81, and ran an 84 2 starts back. One of the few horses in the field who can consistently earn figures in the 80s. Another interesting angle about her is her jockey, Dexter Haddock. He's based usually at Parks. He doesn't come over to Maryland too often. However, no racing in Pennsylvania today, so he'll come down to Maryland for this mount. I don't think he would do that if he didn't think she had a good chance. I think she's the most likely winner of this field. As long as she runs back to her old races, she's going to have a big shot. The morning line favorite in here is number 1, Miss Nosy. Outside of a dull try last out in Pennsylvania, she's had great form all year long. She's only missed the board in three out of her 8 races on the year. And of course, any horse trained by Claudio Gonzalez in Maryland automatically merits respect. One thing I don't like about her too much, though, is her style of running has her stalking the pace, and ideally, she should be able to make a big move on the turn and get up to win. However, she almost never does that. She always hangs around in the end and ends up finishing in second or third place. She's another kind of horse I would use underneath, and one who I would use in a big pick 5 ticket just in case, but I'm not too keen on betting her to win. So just to wrap this race up, number 7, Dawn's Escapade is a top pick, and I would use 1 and 7 when playing with pick 5. Race number 3, now one is a 2 claiming race going 1 mile, field of 6. These kind of races are always very interesting to me because they're often populated by horses I call horses who have seconditis. That means they love coming in second or third and never quite winning. Number 1, So Good, is a classic example of that. In 5 out of his last 6 starts, he's come in second or third. He hasn't won any of them, of course, and he's only won 1 time out of 23 lifetime starts. That one win came against Jersey-bred maiden claimants at Monmouth Park back in May. He has not proven to me yet he can win at this level, although he has proven he can burn a lot of money at this level. My top pick in here is a horse who has never lost a non-2 claiming race in Maryland, and that's number 4, Generalist. He broke his maiden at Saratoga back in July in a maiden claiming race, earned a huge speed figure there of 87. That's much better than anybody else on the field has earned in their last few starts. He lost twice at 6 furlongs after that, one time in a nominals of 2 claiming at Saratoga. Those quality races are usually much better than nominals of 2 races in Maryland. And then he lost the starter optional claiming race over an extremely sloppy track back here at Laurel on September 23rd. He tried the grass last time out, didn't do so well there. He now gets back to his preferred surface. He's got a lot of early speed in a one-turn mile. So if he's allowed a loose lead, he just might keep on going. Everybody else in the field is a horse who has seconditis, and they've lost a lot of races in their careers, especially not only the two-level races. Either that, or they just haven't run figures as high as Generalists. As such, I think Generalist is the horse to single in the pick 5 if you want to do so. Race number 4, a very competitive non-winners of 3 other than allowance optional claiming race for 3-year-olds and up. Fillies and mares going 7 furlongs, field of 9. Just about anybody in the field has a shot to win, so if you are right, you are going to be well compensated. I am going to use 3 horses in this leg. My top pick out of the 3 is number 7, Imply, coming off a win against Pennsylvania-bred horses in a stakes race. In fact, the Plum Pretty Stakes came from mid-pack, drew away to win by 4 lengths on a huge figure there of 94. And a 92 2 starts back when just missing in the Mrs. Penny Stakes against similar company. Her only downside is all of her recent tries have been at 2 turns. Not quite sure if she's a 1-turn horse. However, going back to 7 furlongs, I don't think it's going to be too much of a deterrent for her. Also worth noting, Julio Hernandez, another Parks-based jockey, he's coming in for this mount too. Also worth noting is number 5, Isotope, who has been rapidly climbing the class ladder for trainer Jeremiah Engelhardt and jockey Jorge Vargas. 2 starts back, one nominals of 1 other than allowance race at Laurel at 3 to 5, won that race by 8 1/4 widening lengths while going a mile. Last time out, won a nominals of 2 other than allowance, needing every bit of the extended stretch run in 1 mile races in order to get the job done. She's earned figures in the upper 90s both times. Don't quite know if she'll make it 3 in a row. However, her late pace figures have been astounding. That means she is going to be coming from behind and is going to be heard from in a big way late. Also, my other pick is number 6, Lady by Choice, another Claudio Gonzalez trainee, comes off a win at Parks against nominals of 2 other than allowance company, made a good move on the turn, swung wide, and timed the rally perfectly in order to get the job done. Has a bullet workout recently, did 4 furlongs in a very sharp 47 3/5 seconds back on the 24th. That means she is in razor sharp form and should turn in a peak effort in this field. So I use 5 Isotope, 6 Lady by Choice, and 7 Imply in the 4th race. To wrap things up, race 5, a field of 13 horses here. Fillies and mares, nominals of 2 other than allowance optional claiming, going 6 furlongs. My top pick in this group is another Engelhardt Vargas horse. That's number 4, Majestic One. Ran a career top figure last time here at Lowell. In nominals of 1 other than allowance, stalked the pace and drove down the stretch very easily. Won by almost 4 lengths, going 5.5 furlongs. Now stretches out to 6. The ability that she showed in that 5.5 furlong race shows that 6 furlongs shouldn't be a problem for her. Most of the year, she was running on grass at Belmont and Saratoga. Wasn't that great there. Now finally gets a chance at her preferred surface, and I'm expecting another big effort out of her. My other horse I'm going to use is number 1, Item. Her record this year, not that great. She's come in second or third 5 out of 8 times and has not won. But most of those races were against much tougher company than she'll see here. In her last race, for example, in the Maryland Million Distaff, she had to compete against Crab Cakes, a brilliant Maryland-bred sprinting filly, as well as the very good veteran My Magician. There's no one at this level here. She's one of the classes of the field. Dana Whitney comes in for this mount. Should save ground from post 1 on the inside, make a big move on the turn, and at the very least, pick up a piece of the purse. And actually I'm going to throw in one more horse in this race. That's number 8, Le Weekend, at a pretty generous 10-1 morning line. Outside of her inexplicably dull effort 2 starts back, Delaware Park has been in excellent form. Just missed winning a $20,000 claiming race last time out, battled down the stretch. Lost by a neck, don't earn a big figure there of 87. That's better than anybody else in the field has run, with the exceptions of my 2 top choices. Has good form at Laurel Park. Won at this track earlier in the year against lighter optional climbing. Should stall just off the pace and looks to have a big kick heading for home. So just to go over the ticket, if I had to play one, it would be an $18 play. It would be 2, 3 with 1, 7 with 4 with 5, 6, 7 with 1, 4, 8. That comes out to a total play of $18 on every 50-cent bet. So that is my take on the early pick 5 at Laurel Park. The first race on the Thursday card is at 12:30. Best of luck to everyone playing along.